Binge the full week ad free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, the 141st episode of the show where I share some posts from Instagram that I think you might like. Let's get it started, shall we? There's a famous photograph that everybody has seen, and it is the photograph of all of the construction workers sitting on a beam high up in the sky. They're working on a skyscraper. This is 1932 New York, but the photographer is somebody that nobody has seen. Let me read this. Did you know this is the dapper daredevil photographer who captured the famous image of lunch atop a skyscraper in 1932? Charles C. Ebbets. Just the way he's perched on top of that beam there, taking that photograph. Like the photo of him taking the photo is beautiful. It's kind of crazy to see that, especially the contrast between the way he's like perched on that beam and then the photos of not only the guys sitting on the beam without any kind of safety thing, eating their lunches, but also the dudes that are just laying around. Let me read the rest of this. Lunch atop a skyscraper shows 11 workmen lunching on the beam without any safety. The photo was taken on the 69th floor of the RCA building in Rockefeller Center during the last several months of construction. The second image, resting on a girder, shows the same workers lounging on the beam 800 feet above the ground. But yeah, just kind of a crazy just background, because those are his iconic photos. But I don't think I've ever seen, the photographer, which is equally crazy. Not only just seeing those workers out on a beam, inches from death, but also the photographer that's just up there taking photos is crazy. But, you get a little beauty in your life, and let's move on. This one from David Cho. There's a documentary coming out on Anthony Bourdain as the subject. David Cho, the artist, who has a new show himself coming out called The Cho Show on FX. It was was a friend. We're friends with Anthony Bourdain, and his suicide really hurt David Cho. Let me read his post here. It's the trailer for the documentary is the post that David is sharing. But let me read it. I have not seen this film and probably won't. I trust Morgan Neville as an artist and a great filmmaker to paint an honest portrait of Tony. I'm confident it's going to be a beautiful, inspiring film. I wish I could say or feel different, but even after all of these years, I can't see a video or hear his voice without getting overwhelmingly sad and angry. That's my journey I need to work on, but doing the interview was therapeutic and healing for me. Be a traveler, stick out your thumb, and travel everywhere. Travel out into the world, into the unknown, and travel inwards into the darkest parts of you. Stay open, stay curious, stay connected. I'm looking forward to it. I love documentaries. I'm a big documentary fan. I'm not familiar. I don't know if I've seen other documentaries by Morgan Neville necessarily. But if David Cho says he's a great documentary filmmaker, I'm in. I'm looking forward to it. I was a fan of Anthony Bourdain, his shows. It's just his ability to speak. His words were so beautiful, and it's sad that so many amazing artists suffer from and deal with depression and seemingly feel the need to end it sooner than is time, and it affects everybody around them, including David Cho. So I'm looking forward to watching this documentary. I think it's called July 16th is when it's coming out. I think it's called Roadrunner is the title of the documentary. Roadrunner. So looking forward to that one. So let's move on now to a video that looks like it was taken, shot around where I live. There's a lot of golf courses in the Coachella Valley, so you get to see a lot of old people driving golf carts around. And this one is an old person who is clearly wasted, not drunk. He is wasted. He could barely stand up while getting to his golf cart. Once he gets in, he drives over a curb while people are watching, telling him to get out. Then drives down off the sidewalk, over some bushes, into another curb, and falls out of the golf cart and onto his face. That really looks like it could easily be La Quinta or Rancho Mirage. That looks like the Valley 100%. And it's probably a dude that is well known for getting wasted. It's probably like in a gated community. He went to like the clubhouse to get wasted, and he's on his way back to his house, and just completely face plants, which is hilarious. But he's okay, according to Derek Lewis. He's okay. He's doing fine. But yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot of DUIs happen out here, but because it's older people, it's a retirement community in a lot of sense. It's also vacation destination, but there's a lot of old people getting DUIs out here in the Valley. Or I don't even know if they are, really. I'm sure they're getting pulled over. Guaranteed there are a lot of drunk old people driving around out here in the Palm Springs area. But let's move on now to some safety news, a public service announcement for those who have small pets. I don't know where this is, what area this is, but apparently tiny dogs are now wearing neon body armor with spikes on top of themselves because they're being kidnapped by hawks. Apparently, small animals are being kidnapped by hawks. So now there's this insane Mad Max style costuming that you can put on your dog that looks like, those little neon like little hair things that are just poking out the top. You see those on top of buildings that want to like deter pigeons from landing on it. That is just a crazy outfit to put on your dog in order to walk them. I don't know what I would do if I lived somewhere where there were hawks that could potentially pick up Izzy, my dog. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I would just. I think I would probably just. I don't know. I don't know if I would get this. It seems extremely crazy. I want to know how many hawks are actually successful at kidnapping tiny animals, tiny dogs. Izzy's not that tiny. She's probably like 20 pounds. So I don't know if a hawk would necessarily. There's smaller animals out there, like little chihuahuas. There's a lot of like smaller dogs than Izzy. But yeah, I don't know if I would do it. It would be. It definitely wouldn't be that extreme. It looks like you're dressing your dog up to go to a rave in the 90s. Is really what it looks like. Or you're going, maybe going down to a pride parade. I could see that, kind of that S&M look. But a little extreme for walking your dogs. But, people like to go to extremes for things. Let's move on now to a clip that I'm sure everybody has seen. It's the clip where the bear is climbing on a person's backyard wall or side yard wall with a couple of cubs, and then the dogs come out, and the bear's swapping at the dogs. Big dog, a bunch of little dogs. And this teenager runs out. She pushes the bear off the wall and then grabs one of the small dogs. The bear is probably scared. And the bear, first off, the bear's just trying to get somewhere with the cubs, right? Mama bear, 2 baby cubs. They're just trying to get from one side of the thing to the other side of the thing, and there's this this brick wall, and then all these dogs come out and, threatening this mama bear. The mama bear is just, protecting her cubs. I don't know what those little dogs think they're going to do. Those little, those are the dogs that should have that armor on for hawks. Those tiny little dogs that are attacking a bear. That's ridiculous. The bear would just have to accidentally brush up against one of those dogs and it would be dead. But yeah, it looks like everything's fine. I don't know if any of the dogs were harmed. It didn't seem like, the big dog definitely got a smack to the face. That little dog almost got a smack to the face. But I would imagine the adrenaline going through that girl's body after that, pushing a bear off of a wall, a crazy thing. And that looks like it's in California also. I don't know where necessarily, but nature. We're invading into nature's world. We don't live in natural places. But yeah, kind of a crazy video. But let's do some shout outs and get out of here, shall we? Shout out to Indian_Wells_Art_Festival. Shout out David Cho. Shout out Tremol Docs. Shout out The Beast UFC. Shout out Dave_Anthony_. Shout out NBC Palm Springs. But most importantly, shout out to you. Get yourself some amazing coffee over at stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. That's right, people. It's the place where you get your amazing premium coffee that's brewed in small batches, all from the same place, single origin. It's the greatest coffee known on earth, brewed by experts, delivered to you by experts. Go get yourself some amazing coffee over at stationhousecoffee.com and make sure you follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Let them know that you're a fan of the show and you love coffee. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Peace out!